Public hearing number 1, the 2022 Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, the CAPER.
We have 18 items for original consideration. If the clerk would please read item number 1.
Item number 1 for original consideration, a resolution calling for a public hearing amending 248-18 of the City Code to designate J Street from Liberty Street to Union Street a two-way street.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 2.
Item number 2 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to process outstanding accounts in the best interest of the city and collect any money due from mortgages assigned to the city from Schenectady Local Development Corporation.
Mr. Boulder-Barron.
Madam President, I'd like to ask to move a motion to table this item and bring back to committee for discussion to correct the languages.
I need a second. Okay. We will ask for a roll call during the council meeting. Item number 3.
Item number 3 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 405 11th Street for $26,148.51.
Discussed in committee without, roll call. Mr. Palomini. Item number 4.
Item number 4 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 841 Oakwood Avenue for $100,000.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 5.
Item number 5 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 874 Emmett Street for $55,324.11.
Roll call. Mr. Palomini. Item number 6.
Item number 6 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 1005 Congress Street for $25,777.10.
Roll call. Mr. Palomini. Item number 7.
Item number 7 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 1038 Glenwood Boulevard for $35,500.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 8.
Item number 8 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 1040 Wendell Avenue for $16,999.97.
Roll call by Mr. Palomini. Item number 9.
Item number 9 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 1153 Phoenix Avenue for $141,000.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 10.
Item number 10 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 2008 State Street for $87,000.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 11.
Item number 11 for original consideration, a resolution amending Resolution 2022-224 to modify the time period for Electric City Food Cooperative Incorporated to secure required financial commitments.
Roll call by Mr. Palomini. Item number 12.
Item number 12 for original consideration, a resolution amending Resolution 2022-224 to modify the time period for Young Women's Christian Association of Schenectady, DBA YWCA, Northeastern New York, to secure required financial commitments.
Roll call by Mr. Palomini. Item number 13.
Item number 13 for original consideration, a resolution amending Resolution 2023-029 to modify the time period for Miracle on Craig Street to secure required financial commitments.
Roll call by Mr. Palomini. Item number 14.
Item number 14 for original consideration, a resolution amending Resolution 2022-224 to modify the use of funds for Schenectady Community Action Program Incorporated.
Roll call by Mr. Palomini. Item number 13. Item number 15.
Item number 15 for original consideration, a resolution recognizing Suicide Prevention Month.
This item will be taken out of order and presented by Council Member Patrick. Item number 16.
Item number 16 for original consideration, a resolution recognizing National Hispanic Heritage Month.
This resolution will be presented at a later date, discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 17.
Item number 17 for original consideration, a resolution recognizing Army veteran First Lieutenant George W. Kehoe.
Item number 17 will also be presented at a later date. It's been discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 18.
Item number 18 for original consideration, a resolution recognizing Army veteran Private Joseph E. Kehoe.
This item again will be presented at a later date and discussed in committee without objection on consent. If there's nothing more to come before the City Council caucus, I ask for a motion to adjourn. Motion by Ms. Peck, second by Mr. Mutaveran. All in favor? Aye. We're adjourned. I'd like to call to order the City Council meeting for Monday, September 25th, 2023. And I ask Reverend Ronald Hunt to lead us in prayer invocation.
Good evening. Let us reflect for a moment. First, let me say thank you on behalf of all who have gathered here today. Thank you for many and abundant blessings. Thank you for life itself, for the measure of health we have. We need to fulfill our callings for knowledge, for sustenance, and for friendship. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibilities. Thanks as well for the freedom to share and listen to information and counsel from your constituents, which includes the freedom to respectfully disagree with our many branches of government, yet we have the right to seek our redress, whether it is here, at a peaceful protest, or especially a voting booth. In ancient books, it is said that citizens ought to obey the governing authorities since those very authorities were established to promote peace, order, and justice. In present times, things can seem more complex. Therefore, I pray for our mayor, for the various levels of city official also present, and in particular for this assembled council. I'm asking that you will graciously grant them wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of our times, a sense of the welfare and true needs of our people, a keen thirst for justice and rightness, confidence in what is good and fitting, the ability to work together in harmony even when there is honest disagreement, personal peace in their lives and joy in their tasks. May this communication and this meeting be very productive. Thank you very much.
I'd like to call on Mike Sapiri to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If the clerk would please call the roll.
Mr. Mutivaran? Present. Mr. Toro? Here. Mr. Farley?
Here.
Mr. Williams?
Here.
Ms. Patrick? Here. Mr. Palomini? Here. Ms. Porterfield?
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have one out-of-order resolution recognizing Suicide Prevention Month. We'd ask this is going to be presented by Councilmember Patrick. So we'd ask the members of the fire and police department that are present to accept the resolutions. Please step behind the rail.
Hello, how are you? Madam President, may I have the floor?
You have the floor.
Thank you. Well, this is Suicide Prevention Month for 2023, and we have a special resolution for that. Whereas September is National Suicide Prevention Month, a month to remember the lives lost to suicide, the millions of people who have struggled with suicidal ideation, and acknowledge the individuals, families, and communities that have been impacted. It is also a time to raise awareness and discuss this highly stigmatized topic. In addition to shifting public perception, this month is used to spread hope and vital information to people affected by suicide. And whereas suicide is the act of intentionally causing one's own death, mental disorders including depression, bipolar disorder, autism spectrum disorders, schizophrenia, personality disorders, anxiety disorders, physical disorders, and substance use disorders are risk factors for suicide. The majority of suicides worldwide are related to mental health disorders. Taking care of our mental health is equally as important as taking care of our physical health. And whereas, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, in 2021, suicide was responsible for 48,183 deaths, which is about one death every 11 minutes. The number of people who think about or attempt suicide is even higher. In 2021, an estimated 12.3 million American adults seriously thought about suicide, 3.5 million planned a suicide attempt, and 1.7 million attempted suicide. And whereas suicide is the second leading cause of death among youth and young adults between the ages of 10 and 24 years old, the suicide rate for veterans is more than 50% greater than for non-veteran adults. first responders, including law enforcement officers, firefighters, emergency medical services, EMS clinicians, and public safety telecommunicators. Responders may be at an elevated risk for suicide because of the environments in which they work, their culture and stress, both occupational and personal. And whereas 988 is the 3-digit National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, HHS launched in collaboration with the states in 2022. Americans can now connect with trained counselors that offer real support in times of crisis. Since the July 2022 launch, 988 has received more than 5.5 million calls, texts, and chats, and in July 2023, text and chat were made available in Spanish. And whereas suicide is preventable, and no one should go through a crisis alone, now therefore be it resolved that the Schenectady City Council and Mayor Gary R. McCarthy do hereby pause in their deliberations to recognize Suicide Prevention Month and encourage everyone, if you know someone you know needs help, reach out, call 911, call or text 988 for the National Suicide Prevention Line, or text GOT5 to 741-741. And be it further resolved that as the world joins together during Suicide Prevention Month to honor the memories of those we have lost to suicide and their loved ones, that we commit to be kind to everyone because you never know what someone is going through. I'd like to make a motion to pass this resolution.
I need a second, please. Second by Mr. Boudevaren. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you. So I was hoping that you would introduce yourself and say a few words, and then we'll pass the microphone down.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the council, Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Zachary Weekly. I, along with with another sergeant that I work with, Matthew Deering, who couldn't be here tonight, co-direct our department's peer support team. And with me directly to my left is Dr. Kelly Tobin, who is the clinical director for the police department's peer support team. 5 years ago, when Matt Deering and I took over the peer support team, we realized that our biggest hurdle and the first job that we had was to break down some of the barriers and the stigma associated with help-seeking behavior, right? Especially in law enforcement. There's this machismo that goes along with our job, and a lot of people think that it's not okay to ask for help, and it's not okay to not be okay. So in light of that, I appreciate the City Council taking the time out of your agenda to bring Suicide Awareness Month to everybody's attention, because I think the more we talk about it, the easier it is for somebody who's going through a hard time to, the easier it will be for them to talk about it. That's really all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for having me here and for this amazing award. This is fantastic. Like Zach was saying, I was asked to come and take on a position as the clinical director. It was supposed to be a graceful and gradual coming in, and we unfortunately had a suicide. And so, forged by fire, here I came. And as I got to know everybody at the police department and the officers, I could feel that stigma. When I came in, the atmosphere would change in the room. And I think they really thought that I was there because they were in trouble, not because they could seek me out if they needed to. One of the things that I've worked on, and Zach and Matt have supported me greatly in, is what I call the Resiliency Project. So we're going to launch it next year. It started with myself and Zach and Matt. I created a survey and sent it to every police officer, every detective, every administration. If you belonged somehow to the Schenectady Police Department, you were getting this survey. And what it went through was, I wanted to know what they thought. What was the definition of resilience? What makes somebody resilient? And also, what takes your resiliency away? Because in the form of suicide and the beginning of mental health, it's when you start losing the capacity to be resilient. Where Zach was saying it was grit. You needed to have grit. Okay, but with grit comes silence. And so this gave that voice. And so based on what they thought took the resilience away, I created a 3-tier program to address all of those concerns.
Good evening, everybody. Don Marino, Schenectady Fire Department. This is a subject that's difficult. Way back in the Stone Ages, when I came on, you didn't talk about it. You just went, did your job, kept your mouth shut, and you just let it eat at you, and no one knew about it. And I don't know how far away from that we are today. We've taken strides. We talk about it. We make available to our people a lot of resources. They don't have to tell us what's going on, but if they need help, we're there to help them. I think it's better because we are talking about it. It's better because it'll lead, like the police department and other agencies, the different things you're doing. But it is definitely an issue that we can't let go, and we need to keep working at it. You never know what someone's going through, and you never know what act of kindness can help that person. And sometimes it's that just simple thing. The programs are good. We're going to work the programs, but it's very important that all of us just realize we're in this together, and no one's perfect. And just a kind word to somebody could go a long ways.
Well, thank you to you all, and especially for the work that you do under tremendous pressure. So we really appreciate everything that you're doing to protect yourselves and each other, and of course our community. So thank you very much.
I'd just like to add that we do have one more group, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, that could not be with us tonight, so we will be presenting a resolution on Sunday at their walk in Central Park. It's okay. And so while I'm talking about it, I would just further mention that Councilmember Patrick talked about the 988 suicide crisis line. So we are going to be having some of these cards which explain it in City Hall. So thank you very much, Councilmember Patrick. We have one public hearing tonight, and just a reminder, we've extended the public hearing comment to 4 minutes. However, I have no one signed up for the public hearing, so I declare the public hearing closed. Okay, ask for approval of the minutes for September 13th, 2023. September 11th, I'm sorry. Nobody? Moved by Mr. Farley, second by Mr. Williams. All in favor? The clerk could please read any communications and petitions.
Communications presented to City Council for Monday, September 25th, 2023. Under official, there were none. Under general, there were 3 emails from P.D. Boris, 2 regarding National Grid already installing traffic lamps and instruction signs before public hearing allowing two-way traffic on Clinton and Franklin Street. She also asked that everyone look at the Daily Gazette article, A Look at Schenectady as Technological Smart City, What Do We Need to Know About Smart Cities, and a broad matrix of options that were published on July 27, 2019. Under petitions, there were none.
Thank you. Call on council members to provide any committee reports. Any committee reports? This time we'll have privilege of the floor related to the legislative agenda. And I think I just need to clarify something for folks who signed up. The yellow sheet was legislative for the legislative agenda, and the green was for city business. So if you want to speak to anything that is on the printed agenda, like regarding the housing sales, those things, that is the legislative agenda, which is what we're speaking on now. So does anybody need to correct that? Okay. Okay, but I just want you to, okay, so that means you're on the legislative agenda. Okay. That's what's on here. So anybody who wants to speak on anything that's on the agenda, but not right now, but I'll change your name over. Okay? You're Ms. Pinchback? Ms. Pinchback? Okay. Not right now, but I'll move your name over. So I just want to clarify for everyone, we had some confusion before. Ms.
The YW and the Electric City Food Co-op and Miracle on Craig Street, where should we be speaking?
You should be speaking during the legislative agenda.
Oh, well, then I think we have to switch.
Okay. Yes, Elizabeth Walsh, you did. All right, so everybody else is in the right place?
Kim Siciliano, and myself, I think I'm on the wrong form.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else for the housing sales? That's on the agenda. Okay. All right, so Elizabeth Walsh, you sent yours online? Just to remind you have 3 minutes to speak.
Good evening, all. Mayor McCarthy, City Council members. I'm here representing the Electric City Food Cooperative. I am an engaged and very proud member owner. I'm here with over a dozen other member owners of the Electric City Food Co-op, a community that is growing, 906 members this week. I am coming together in gratitude. I want to thank particularly Council members Carmel Patrick, Damani Farley, Carl Williams, John Mudaveran, Council President Marion Porterfield, and Mayor Gary McCarthy for their ongoing support of our efforts to open a downtown community-owned grocery store. Thank you also for your willingness to be responsive to the changing conditions and needs of community partners. Tonight, we gather in support of the resolution before Council to grant the 3 time extensions requested. One for our Building Back Better Together proposal, as well as for the proposals of the YWCA and Miracle on Craig Street. All 3 of these proposals were previously approved by City Council on the condition that they raise funds for their own to complement the federal ARPA funding. We believe that approval of these extensions is fully consistent with federal guidance on administrating ARPA funding. First, following through on the commitment to invest in these projects is fully consistent with the core equity-centered intentions of ARPA. These intentions include providing responsive services to disproportionately impacted communities and addressing the critical issues like food insecurity that were exacerbated during the pandemic. Second, granting the time extensions is fully consistent with federal requirements that the ARPA funds are allocated to projects by the end of 2024, with the money needing to be spent by the end of 2026. The Biden-Harris administration has consistently advanced an equity-centered approach to recovery efforts, one that is responsive to the diverse needs of diverse people in dynamically changing circumstances, especially by working closely with people directly experiencing challenges to co-create solutions. Although most of us here agree that improvements could be made to the ARPA process, we also want to applaud the Council's willingness to implement a responsive, equity-centered process that ensures the ARPA investments match real community needs. For the co-op, this will give us the time to secure our site. We have committed funds of $3 million from the county and $2 million from our very community-oriented developers. So we look forward to being able to fulfill it with the time extension required. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Kim Siciliano.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the YWCA Northeastern New York's current clients, residents, participants, staff, and board members, I thank you, Mr. Mayor, and City Council members. You have always been nonprofit community-based champions, and we greatly appreciate all of your partnership. We are hopeful that you will bring the YWs, the Electric City Food Co-op, and Miracle on Craig Street funding requests, as well as extensions, back up for additional conversation and to another vote so that these nonprofits may continue their great work in the Schenectady community. I will talk tonight about the YW's project and our 135-year history and how we are embarking on another adventure to strengthen and grow our mark in the Schenectady community. Please consider our request for an additional funding to support the expanded project outline encompassing our whole campus at this point. This is a $45 million project that includes both new construction, which is what we've been talking about, as well as concurrently renovating our building that is 90 years old on the main campus. Please provide this additional support so we may realize our dream and vision for an electrifying and greatly improved Schenectady community for all. The critical need for housing, both supportive and permanent in our community, is at an all-time high, especially housing that serves those experiencing mental illness, survivors of domestic violence, and the chronically homeless. Harbor House, as we love to call it, at the YW will be a newly constructed 54-unit, 100% permanent supportive housing development for women, trans inclusive. The YW partners with Zenith Partners, our affordable housing experts, along with our other project team partners, GPI, Magnuson Architecture, and LaChase Construction. The new construction will be a 37,000 plus square foot, four-story building, including 50 studios and 4 two-bedroom family units. There will also be various office and community space to provide intensive support to residents with 24/7 on-site staffing. We will also renovate the current building, turning the 95-year-old building into a wonderful opportunity in the stockade. We currently still have 42 single-room occupancy units, which is what we'll be renovating, as well as office and program space, and providing an early learning center build-out serving 60-plus children. The project team will redevelop the YW campus to ensure the long-term stability of the critical programming the YW provides: safe and affordable housing, comprehensive domestic violence services, and high-quality early learning program. There's also about 80 staff who work there. With this amazing project and your support, we will keep alive our amazing mission of eliminating racism, empowering women, and promoting peace, justice, dignity, and freedom for all. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you all.
Thank you. Michelle Pinchback.
Good evening, City Council. My name is Michelle. I am up here in reference to the buying back of my parents' home through my mother. I just wanted to say that both my parents have been in the Schenectady community for a very long time, have also added and been in community service to the area, and I would really appreciate, I understand that there was a lot of issues and inconveniences as far as what this process has happened, what has happened, and what is going to happen. I just ask that we look over everything, and especially the information that was sent to you guys individually through emails and I think it was just through emails, sorry. And just to make sure to look over that, because this has been a very rough thing, and it's not something that was done, out of spite or to hurt the city or to go anything else. This was more about elderly people who had issues, had physical health and a lot of other things, and family wasn't as involved as it is now. They have backup now, there is family included, everyone knows, we are all watching over everything, and this is not something that would happen again. So I'm just asking that they look over everything, and I appreciate you for listening.
Thank you. All right, I have no one else signed up to speak for the legislative agenda, so I declare the public comment closed. Ask for approval of the legislative agenda. So it's moved by Mr. Mudavarian, second by Ms. Patrick. All in favor? Aye. All right, we have 9 items for roll call. Item number 2. The clerk, could please read.
Item number 2 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to process outstanding accounts in the best interest of the city and collect any monies due for mortgages assigned to the city from the Schenectady Local Development Corporation.
All right. It's been motioned and second to have this item tabled. This time, the clerk would please call the roll.
Mr. Muthubaran?
Yes.
Mr. Toro? Yes. Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Patrick?
Yes.
Mr. Palomini?
Yes.
Ms. Porterfield?
Yes. Items tabled will be returned to committee. So it passes. Item number 3.
Item number 3 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 405 11th Street for $26,148.51.
I need a motion on that. Moved by Ms. Patrick, second Ms. Mutavaren. All in favor? All right. Is there any discussion on this item? Just want to remind council members, this is the time for discussion, and next will be roll call to just vote the item through or not. So, any discussion on this item? If the clerk would please call the roll.
Mr. Mutavaren?
Yes.
Mr. Toro? No. Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Patrick?
Yes.
Mr. Palomini?
No.
Ms. Porterfield?
Yes. Item number 5. Clerk would please read.
Item number 5 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 874 Emmett Street for $55,324.11.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second by moved by Mr. Mudavaren, second by Ms. Patrick. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, if the clerk would please call the roll. Oh, any discussion? This is the opportunity for discussion before the vote. Please call the roll.
Mr. Mutavaren?
Yes.
Mr. Toro? No. Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Patrick?
Yes.
Mr. Palomini?
No.
Ms. Porterfield?
Yes. Item passes 5-2. Item number 6.
Item number 6 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 1005 Congress Street for $25,777.10.
Need a motion to move it? Moved by Mr. Mutavaren, second by Mr. Farley. All those in favor? Aye. Any discussion? If the clerk would please call the roll.
Mr. Mutavaren?
Yes.
Mr. Toro? No. Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Patrick?
Yes.
Mr. Palomini?
No.
Ms. Porterfield?
Yes. Item passes 5-2. Item number 8.
Item number 8 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 1040 Wendell Avenue for $16,999.97.
I need a motion. Ms. Patrick, second by Mr. Mudavaren. All those in favor? Aye. Is there any discussion on this item? If the clerk would please call the roll.
Mr. Mutavaren?
Yes.
Mr. Toro? No. Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Patrick?
Yes.
Mr. Palomini? Ms. Porterfield?
Yes. Item passes 5-2. Item number 11.
Item number 11 for original consideration, a resolution amending Resolution 2022-224 to modify the time period for Electric City Food Cooperative Incorporated to secure required financial commitments.
Need a motion? Ms. Patrick, second by Mr. Mudavaren. All in favor?
Aye.
Is there any discussion on this item? The clerk would please call the roll.
Mr. Mutavaren?
Yes.
Mr. Toro? No. Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Patrick?
Yes.
Mr. Palomini?
No.
Ms. Porterfield?
Yes. Item passes 5-2. Item number 12.
Item number 12 for original consideration, a resolution amending Resolution 2022-224 to modify the time period for Young Women's Christian Association of Schenectady, DBA YWCA, Northeastern New York, to secure required financial commitments.
I need a motion. Moved by Ms. Patrick, second by Mr. Mudavaren. All in favor? Aye. Is there any discussion on this item? Mr. Farley?
So, Madam President, I just want to, I think it's appropriate that we recognize that this is Suicide Prevention Month, and have we did that earlier with a beautiful ceremonial resolution by Ms. Patrick. And I think that it's important that we recognize that we are in a really great position to impact the setting conditions to which these tragedies occur. And I don't want it to be lost on us that affordable housing and building community and access to quality services and mental health services. And these are exactly what these agencies are providing. And we are in a great position to, increase or decrease the likelihood of such tragedies occurring in our community by the way we vote. So I just wanted to make clear and highlight that our votes should not be looked at as a disconnected piece to this process. They are very much related and have great impacts by what we say yes or no here tonight.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? If the clerk will please call the roll.
Mr. Mutavaran?
Yes.
Ms. Soturo? No. Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Patrick? Yes. Mr. Palomini?
No.
Ms. Porterfield?
Yes. Item passes 5-2. Item number 13.
Item number 13 for original consideration, a resolution amending Resolution 2023-029 to modify the time period for Miracle on Craig Street to secure required financial commitments.
Need a motion, please? Mr. Mudavaran, second by Mr. Williams. All in favor? Aye. Is there any discussion on this item? The clerk will please call the roll.
Mr. Mutavaran?
Yes.
Ms. Soturo? No. Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Patrick? Yes. Mr. Palomini?
No.
Ms. Porterfield?
Yes. Item passes 5-2. Item number 14.
Item number 14 for original consideration, a resolution amending Resolution 2022-224 to modify the use of funds for Schenectady Community Action Program Incorporated.
I need a motion. Motion by Mr. Williams, second by Ms. Patrick. All in favor? Aye. Is there any discussion on this item? Ms. Patrick?
Yes, I'd like to repeat what we talked about a couple of weeks ago, which is that this is a program that absolutely is helping to prevent homelessness in our community. It's a program that this council has funded previously through CDBG. I also want to point out that the original application that SCAP put in was for COVID supplies. So changing to the rental assistance program to prevent homelessness makes sense because they had to purchase the COVID supplies when they needed them, so they used other funding to do that, and I wholeheartedly support using the money that we had already previously given to them to continue in our efforts to prevent homelessness in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Mutavaran?
Yes.
Ms. Soturo? No. Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Patrick? Yes. Mr. Palomini?
No.
Ms. Porterfield?
Yes. Motion passes 5-2. Thank you. This time we'll have privilege of the floor regarding general city business. I have 4 people signed up. First person is Michael Zapiri.
Good evening, Mr. McCarthy, Mayor McCarthy, City Council President, Ms. Porterfield, City Council. I just came here to talk about a wonderful event that happened Friday night in Schenectady regarding St. Luke's Church. If I could read something, please. I wanted to recognize an event that took place this past Friday in the city. It was the 3rd annual Community Day hosted by Father Dominic Isopo and the parishioners in St. Luke's and St. Joseph churches. The purpose of this day was to give back to the community one person at a time, and that they did. It provided the opportunity for the members of the community to select items from the large amount of varied things donated by the church members, such as clothing, household goods, toys, books, etc. Enjoy some food and benefit from the beautiful weather, all at no cost, much to the surprise and delight of some of the attendees. There were also organizations there to share their information with those interested. In spite of our differences and the problems in our society, this event reminded me of what I already knew. We are better than that, and the city needs more afternoons like this. Bravo to Father Isopo and the parishioners of St. Luke and St. Joseph's. How grateful we as parishioners from St. Luke's to have Father Isopo as our priest. His leadership in caring for his church and parishioners is so rewarding. To all of us, God bless Father Isopo always. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mark Lacroix, I never sure how to pronounce that, and Marge.
That's right, it's Lacroix. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just want to thank the City Council for their them having a magnanimous spirit. And I think that's what the city needs, to be magnanimous, think about others, think about what can we do to move forward. I know it's not an easy thing. I know we have to always consider every single person of the city, but that's the thing. Think about every single person's case, but then those who are before the City Council, before the mayor, to really see what happened, see the details, and go forward with that. You know, I thank you for hearing us out, seeing the emails. I've seen people talk about their properties and helping their family and such. It's a beautiful thing, you know, and that's what Schenectady is supposed to be about, family and building a community. If we're not doing that, then what are we doing here? We're failing people and failing the community. But I thank you for your spirits, and I hope to see great and new blood come to the City Council to keep it pumping, keep it going, and that when the city is in the near future, what they call a new Schenectady, that everyone can feel it, see it, and hear it. Thank you.
Thank you. Patricia Smith.
Good evening, Madam President, Mayor, City Council members. I'm Patricia Smith, President of the Noonan Homes Partnership on Pennsylvania Avenue between Schuyler and Hathorne Streets with Norwood Avenue behind us. We own the whole block, including the back parking lot. Over the 36 years I have lived here, we have had issues with trespassers using our lot, blocking us in, and parking and leaving their cars. We have in the past had the assistance of the police to remove trespassers. The continuous issue is unfortunately the Pop Warner football group. Besides leaving trash, they continue to park, drive in, stand, and block our lot. The retorts when asked to leave show lack of respect and intelligence. On September 14th, a woman drove in halfway through the lot and parked. I went over to explain the lot is private and asked her nicely to leave. She started to yell, and when I went to retrieve my cell phone in my car, she said I'd better stay in the car or she's gonna let me have it. At that time, her son came up and told me I'd better stay in my car. Then she called me a racist. Previous, when I asked a man to leave the lot, he screamed I was prejudiced. This is a private lot. Apparently, this is the new mantra of people who want to commit crimes and feel they can intimidate others by using this crap. My record with MPNA speaks for me. I will not tolerate such filthy, disgusting, moronic comments. This past Saturday, 2 of us called to ask for police help so that an issue did not erupt. We were told that due to the issue being on private property, the police cannot help us. Our lot was full of cars. We could not get out. Nobody could get out because they blocked us in. I saw a car go by and the officers looked and kept going. Despite the road congested with cars all over the sidewalk and in our lot, they just ignored it. I then emailed the chief of police asking for assistance as we were concerned a small melee would arise due to the comments of the trespassers when we asked them to leave. An officer did come a while after we cleared the lot. He was very professional and listened to my angry complaint. We got good guys and women there. So from this I gather that if something happens on private property, the police cannot help, or is it just for people in Mount Pleasant or just me? So if this is the case, and we can count on no help, this is what we are going to do. If we have people committing crimes toward us on our property, we will return the favor in kind. And according to the dispatch, the police will not be able to help the criminals who now have the tables turned on them. This is such a violation of our rights. The school and city have jurisdiction over the athletic field and what activities happen there. So they have some responsibility for the actions of the field users. At this time, we are seeking federal and state legal action to preserve our rights due to this administration's lack of ability to enforce laws on quality of life issues. No one has the right to bully or intimidate to commit a crime against another. I'm 71 years old. The other lady is 74. These are young people, and they're going to beat us up and calling us names. So we are now going to engage in the services of patrols that will take care of our lot. And personally, I have to say that I do not support this administration anymore, which is a sad state of affairs. Thank you.
Thank you. Melissa Jeffries.
Hello, my name's Melissa Jefferson. I originally came here to talk about my parents' house. Well, you just happened to pass. We need it, so I just want to thank the council for listening and taking my emails and my pestering and everything to pass my parents to keep their home. Thank you.
Thank you. I have no one else signed up to speak, so I declare the public comment of city business closed. Miscellaneous business of the council? Okay, Mayor?
Madam President, thank you. Always appreciate everyone coming out tonight and expressing their opinions and their thoughts. Tomorrow we're scheduled to start the milling of Campbell Avenue, weather permitting. I know that's been a concern for a lot of people in Bellevue with the work that National Grid has done on that street, replacing the gas lines and some of the adjoining streets, but that will be milled for its entire length. That'll complement the work that was done past year on Broadway. I thank Council President Porterfield, Council members DeToro, Palomini, and Patrick, who joined us for the pickleball court opening. We've redone the pickleball courts there and then the tennis courts across the street. But for Mr. Mudaviran, Mr. Farley, and Mr. Williams, they assure me that anytime you want to go up, they'll give you a lesson and let you play on the pickleball courts and get to see all the benefits of the investment that we've made in that park. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I was going to talk about the pickleball as well. Yeah, so it's a great court. We're doing a lot of things in the parks, and people have the opportunity to enjoy. So, you know, and that's one of the ways that the ARPA dollars are being spent, so that everybody in the city has an opportunity to partake. I did play the mayor. He turned it down that day. So I'll challenge you to a pickleball on those courts. So I want to also thank everyone for coming out tonight, and to my colleagues on the council who supported it. I want to say thank you for us doing, to support the extensions on the contracts for those who are trying to provide, who are providing and have been providing services to our city for so long. And additionally, thank you for allowing people to maintain their homes who got into, you know, things happened, people were older, we went through COVID, a lot happened. But I just also want to make it 100% clear that the city is being made whole. The city is being made whole. And we charge, that's not for me, we charge 21% interest, and you know there's no way that anything else, any place else charges that interest. So we're getting all of our money back on these houses. I want to make that clear. And in addition to that, there's an additional fee that we've attached to that for those who had to pay this, and they have to pay the court costs. So the city is getting all their money plus some, because we're not going to cover the cost in order to do this. So for those who say that we're, you know, taxing taxpayers' dollars by allowing people to buy back their property, that is not a fact. And it's also, I want to say that we have done this in the past. It's not the first time that the council has done this. So again, I thank the council for supporting this, for realizing it's important for us to try to do the right thing and to look at each situation individually. So I thank you very much. And with that, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn by Ms. Patrick, second by Mr. Farley. All in favor? We're adjourned. Have a good night.